Hello everyone, it is Sunday night and we are coming to you live from inside of Bat City Comic Professionals in Bradenton, Florida to help you wind down your weekend. As always, I'm your host Shannon Live, aka Small Press Shann, here to tell you about all of this week's indie and small press new releases that you are definitely going to want to add to your pull list. We are going to have a lot of fun things to talk about on this week's show, but of course, if we're going to be winding down our weekend, we've got to start it out with wine. So this week we're drinking, it's called Chakras, it's a Malbec, and it's supposed to have a lot of vanilla and oak flavors to it, which is just kind of pretty standard for what we're picking up on a lot of these Malbecs in the area that we're getting. But I'm excited. I think is there anything else of it? Nope, just red fruits, which is also pretty standard. I'm kind of excited for this one though. It looks like it's gonna be. It looks really pretty, and like the color of the wine, not the bottle. The bottle is pretty as well, but I'm really excited to see how it tastes. It's pretty. There's almost like, huh?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. I was like, there's like, not really, like, I didn't really catch like the oak on that one. I smell the oak.
I can taste the oak.
I can taste the oak. There's some more spice in that one. The first taste I got was like kind of like almost flat. That one was way more spicy to it. Like a little more flavors. The first one I was like, I feel like that was just vanilla on a red fruit. This one had more flavors.
When they say a wine is very dry, I think this is a very dry wine.
Very dry wine. Yeah. It's very good. Very, very simple, like not, like simple in that it doesn't feel like it's got too, like it does have a lot of flavors going on, but they kind of blend together nicely, so it doesn't feel like you're getting like too crazy with the taste. But I'm trying to think if it's got, no. Ooh. That's cool. This has a lot of intense heat in the vineyard for the grapes, but then it has snow that becomes the water. So like all the water for the vineyard, like a lot of the water on the vineyard is snow coming down from the Andes, which, that's just cool. I don't know if it actually changes anything with the flavor, but it's cool that it's like got so much of the like snow is like the fresh water that comes into it. Anyway, we're gonna be drinking that throughout, and I have a feeling that we're gonna feel like if Matt's already seeing a lot of oak and I'm seeing more of the vanilla, I have a feeling that by later in the show, our wines might completely flip flop on who's got what flavors and what else we're gonna see. So, we had a great week at Bat City this week. Oh my gosh, so many things happened. So we had Slam Academy yesterday for inking and coloring with our art teacher Adrian, which was really cool. It was awesome to see. I love that so many people came out and got to ask him questions. We had Comic Creation Workshop on Saturday, which was a lot of fun. We had some new students who joined in, and we're always happy to have new kiddos coming to learn how to make comics and how to write their own stories. We had book club, and we got to read Farmhand issue 1, which was really great. It was a really good conversation around that one, and we're going to talk about Farmhand in just a minute because we had a new issue today, but it was really cool to get to read that first issue when we are so close to the end in the series now, and so to have just a little bit of a conversation about that with people who had never read Farmhand at all, and get to see everybody's different viewpoints on it. And so many people hadn't even read anything by Rob Gilroy at all, so it was really cool because it kind of opened them up to a new creator as well. And we got Superman, which was really awesome. It was a fun time at the movies. And then we had this other little thing happen this week, which was our Toxic Avenger variant came out. Yay! This is our Bad City Comics exclusive. for Toxic Avenger number 1, which is the new ongoing from Ahoy and writer Matt Bors. And Matt actually did this variant. He is the artist on the variant, so it's really cool because you get your writer to have a cover. And Matt usually does the 1 in 5 or 1 in 3 incentives, so it was cool to get him on our exclusive. These are limited to 500 copies, and you guys are loving it, and so are we. This is Toxie cleaning up the store. If you've never been inside of Bad City, this is what the front area of our store looks like when you're facing towards the exit, and it looks like Toxie just caused some big messes, but at least he's cleaning it up. So we're gonna have these. And they've got the COA that tells you that it is one of the 500, and it's just that it is the Bat City exclusive on the back. So again, shout out to Matt Bors for this. Shout out to Ahoy for letting us make an exclusive with them, and don't forget to pick yours up. They are available online as well, so you can purchase those on through our website, which you can find the link for. It's not through the batcity.org website, it's through a special shopping one, so you can actually find that link on our Instagram or our Facebook, so you can purchase those. All right. This week we've got some stuff coming up. This Thursday is Ladies and Non-Binary Nerd Night at 8 p.m. A lot of fun. If you're somebody who hasn't joined us for that before, it is such a great time. Friday we will be closing a little early because it is subscriber night. So if you have a pool list at Bat City, this is our quarterly celebration of all things friendship and fun. So come out. It's a potluck if you want to bring something, whatever little big thing that may be. We always love to have people bring their favorite goodies. And then, we'll be closed for that. We're going to close probably between 6 and 6:30 on Friday to anybody that's not a subscriber. Subscribers, the party will start at 7. And then, Saturday at 11:30, I will be out at the Ringling, College of Art and Design for, in their library. If you don't know, all summer long so continuing to run through the beginning of August, we actually have an exhibit of just some great pieces of comic history on display in the special collections at the Goldstein Library at Ringling College. And in celebration of that exhibit, which is completely free and you are able to go even if you're not a student, in collaboration with that, we are going to have a comic making class this Saturday at 11:30 at the Ringling College Goldstein Library in the special collections room, which is really cool because you're going to get to go and see what that special collections space looks like. You'll get to see the exhibit while you're there. It is a free class. You're welcome to come join us. It's not, and this is not just for kids. So usually our comic creation workshops are for younger kids. This is actually going to be for everybody. So if you want to learn how to make a comic and you want to just have the intro to comics class, come on out and meet us at the Goldstein Library this Saturday at 11:30 on the Ringling campus. And you can just type in the name of the library to get there. And we'll be sharing more information about that on our socials tomorrow as well. And then we also have a Slam Academy class this week, which is going to be the one with Matt teaching you how to letter your comics. So come on out for Slam Academy at 3:30 this Saturday and learn how to letter with Matt, and do some of those big graphic design moments that it takes to be a letterer. It's really cool for him to talk to you about that, and the class is always fascinating. All right, we've got some other things coming up on the horizon, but you can always check our calendar to see what those things are. But today we've got comics, and so we're going to talk about some comics I'm really excited about. There's some really great ones out this week, and we're going to kick it off with I Hate Fairyland, issue 42 from Image. If you are really confused because you've just recently started reading I Hate Fairyland, and you're like, I thought we were on issue 20, you are for this arc, but I Hate Fairyland is so close to the number 50 that Scotty Young wanted to go back to the legacy numbering. And it's just switched it to 42 because it's really cool for an indie title to get this big in the numbers. But if you don't know I Hate Fairyland, it is the story about a young girl named Gert who goes to a magical place called Fairyland and is supposed to go on an adventure to find the key to go back to her home, and she's supposed to have a fun, amazing time while she's there. Well, Gert gets stuck in Fairyland because she can't quite figure out the simplest thing. And now she's been there for over 30 years, and it's been a mess. She's kind of just destroying Fairyland at every turn. But in this issue, we are following a unicorn who is a helicorn because he's kind of like Hellboy. the unicorn, and somebody has stolen his horn. And so he is trying to figure out how to get his horn back, and he ends up going to the old woman who lives in a shoe, and he's like, hey, I believe you've stolen my unicorn horn, and because of that you are now cursed, and you're not actually an old lady, and you actually don't have children, and the only way you can relieve yourself of this curse is by returning my horn. And of course that old lady is in fact Gert, but it's so good because it's done by nursery rhymes, so the whole thing is just nursery rhyme puns and nursery rhyme moments that you get to use in there, and it's so like Hellboy too, and it's absolutely great. And I love that we mimicked the Mignola style of art for the story as well, which is really cool. It's not actually Mignola on it, so congratulations to this artist for nailing it. Which I should give them a shout out. It's Derek Loffman who drew it, so great combination of the two styles. We've got Farmhand issue 23 from Image. If you haven't read Farmhand before, it is the story of a man who decides that he can grow body parts, essentially, and he bioengineers body parts through his farming, and so he starts cultivating that. It becomes a big massive corporation. All kinds of things are happening, and of course when anybody can bioengineer something, eventually there are going to be people who want to use it for nefarious purposes and who are going to steal it from them. And so he has been in a war for a long time with this woman named Thorpe, who is trying to steal all of his secrets, and she is using them to create essentially this terrible like hive mind of zombie-esque people. And as we're in this final arc, we have seen her realize that the secret to it is actually the family of the farmer, and that she has to have that their bloodline to be a part of it. And so she has recently stolen the grandkids of the inventor of all of this. She has kidnapped them and is trying to figure out how she can siphon their energy. And our family is going to have to come together in ways that they are not good at in order to stop her and to save maybe their whole town and possibly the entire world at the same time. It's so intense right now in that book. Transformers issue 22 from Image, Skybound, and Your Energon universe. This is really coming to a head because Daniel Warren Johnson is leaving the series at issue 25, and so we're seeing him build up to a climax for everything he's been doing. And in this Transformers series, of course, the Transformers have come to Earth, and of course the world has gotten really, concerned about giant robots. There is a battle between good and evil, Autobots and Decepticons, as per always. The difference is that the military in this story that they are working with and against is actually the G.I. Joe universe of people, and some of the humans who are trying to steal all of their, energon power are Cobra and Mars. And so we kind of don't focus too much on that with what Daniel Warren Johnson is doing at the time. We are actually focusing more on Optimus Prime, the war general, who is really struggling with good and bad and making the choices that everybody doesn't want to have to make. And he's recently gotten hurt, and Optimus is kind of at the point where he is like, hey, somebody else needs to take over as the Prime. I'm not going to make it. This battle needs to go on. We have to protect these humans because, of course, we brought our war to their world, and we got to make sure that all of the Decepticons are rounded up and like stopped from what they're doing and the harm that they're causing these people. And as always in Transformer stories, the people that they connect with are both heroes to them and the ones that they need to save. And so we get to see some of those big moments in this, and we also get to see what I love about this series is we get to see what's going on back home on Cybertron as that war still continues back there, and we still have some friends who are fighting it every day. We've got Hello Darkness issue 12 from Boom Studios. This is Boom's horror anthology. Everybody kind of has one at this time that they're putting out, and I think that this one just always has some really great stories, and this is no exception. The first story kind of starts with this, is all about this guy who lives in a world where there's like these ghosty strangers, and basically if you can see the ghost and they realize that you can see them, they kill you, and people and anybody like around you. And so people who can see them get get sense like they lose their jobs, they can't be in public, and they kind of just have to live in their homes and stay away from everybody else, and you don't want to acknowledge it because your home is like the only place where you're safe. And so this is all about the resistance essentially that kind of builds up from that. The second story in there is about a toy collector who goes to a toy store on the day a new figure drops and literally suckers a kid out of the toy so that he can have one in a box and one out of the box, because he's like, I'm a super collector and you're just a stupid kid. And so he doesn't let the kid get the toy. And his toys don't like that, and they kind of are like, hey, you've been playing with action figures of superheroes your whole life, but you turned out to be an awful, terrible person, and we've seen you grow into that, and we're coming for you. And so the toys kind of lash out at him for just the terrible person he's become and what he didn't learn from them. The third story is all about a man who swears he is one of the last of the better babies, which is a group of babies that were judged in a county fair that were supposed to be just like the new height of humanity, and they were chosen to be the best babies of all the babies. And he finds out that he has some medical conditions, and he refuses to accept that, because how could he if he's a better baby? And then the next story is all about a race of aliens that's all fast food and junk food and stuff that comes to Earth, and how we feel that they are our saviors because they allow us to have the enjoyment of their delicious goods. And then when all of humanity gets too fat to do anything, they can't fight off the next alien invasion, and they don't know what to do, which is a very dark version of WALL-E, in a sense, in that. But there's so many good stories in here, and the last one is wrapping up our Erica Slaughter, Something is Killing the Children story that's been going on in here, which has just been Erica in a bar after she saves a town full of people from monsters, and just how she deals with that situation. So great anthology. There's so many stories in the Hello Darkness one. You really get your money's worth every month. The Power Fantasy, issue 10 from Image Comics. This is such a dense book. I say it every time. It's one of those where you like have to take your time reading it because there's so much going on. And it's really a conversation about the ethics of superheroes that we're having, because this is all about a world where we have superpowered individuals, and they kind of all are both good and bad. But our Charles Xavier kind of character, who can see, who can hear people's thoughts and kind of control people's thoughts from where he is, has taken that way farther than Charles Xavier ever did. And in it, he's kind of gotten to the point where he also like is like, well, if I can see the ethics behind a person and the decision that they make, then I need to be the one that controls whether or not people have the right to live, and like where these superheroes go. And he's like, and so he's just become like this very dark person. And our very first issue showed him making the decision to kill like half the people in a city just because it would keep a superpowered person from causing any more damage. Like that was like the deal he chose to make. Well, we've learned in this issue especially, and in the surrounding issues, we've learned that one of the superpowered people has had a kid, and this kid may also be superpowered, and nobody knows what those powers are going to be and where this kid stands, and it's not supposed to be something that they're allowed to do based off of the ethics of this one guy who's determined everything. And we learned that there's more to it, that actually like some of the people who have claimed to be superpowered all this time may have not actually been what we thought they were, and good and evil are constantly shifting places in this story. And it's such an interesting dichotomy of super heroics. We've got the wrap-up of Uncanny Valley with issue 10 from Boom Studios. This is such a great book. It's just been fantastic. If you're a fan of things like Roger Rabbit, you definitely should read it because it has a very similar feel. It is also nominated for an Eisner. So it is nominated for the Best New Series this year at the Eisner. So we're wishing Tony Police and Dave Watcher some luck for that because this book is so good. But this is all about a kid who finds out that he is part fictional character. He's part cartoon, and he is taken back to the cartoon world where by his grandfather, who's essentially just Yosemite Sam, and he's told that he needs to go to the One because he's the only one who can save the cartoon world. And what he finds out is that the One, the first cartoon, the first, I guess is what they call him, is actually the villain. And the villain is trying to capture him, not so that he can save it in a positive way, but it's essentially to sacrifice this kid to save his world at the expense of humanity. And so we've been battling against that in this last 10 issues. And his mom has recently come back, and she was raised in the cartoon world, but she's kind of hidden that from, that information from the Sun, and so now they are wrangling their own group of heroes to come in and save the day. And I'm not going to show you any more of the second part of this book because I don't want you to be spoiled on some of the big reveals at the end of the story. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Nation issue 8 from IDW. These are kind of the companion stories to the world of Ninja Turtles that Jason Aaron is building. So this is kind of just a lot of people after Sophie Campbell's run were left in different places, and this is kind of telling us where some of those people are and how it's going to relate into the main Ninja Turtle story. So this is the story of Nobody, who is kind of her own little crime fighter, and they are trying to they've recently gotten a new suit, and they're kind of dealing with that because the suit doesn't really need them to operate anymore. And it's like that's how they're feeling in general after everything, the fallout of the old Ninja Turtles run is like all the turtles are separated, all the Aliplex and all of them have all left and gone different places. Casey Jones went off with Karai, and nobody really knows what's going on. And it's like I feel like I'm alone and I just want to be a hero, but I don't really feel like I have the ability to do so. And Fugitoid is in charge of making their suits. We get to see Fugitoid working with them, which is really cool for those little like Ninja Turtles moments. And then we get to see them kind of learn a little bit about themselves in that journey and who they want to be. And then the second story is all about Baxter Stockman, who is running for president. And we are seeing what Baxter is kind of like. Baxter's kind of on a campaign that's been determined for him. And we get to see him have some interactions with some mutanimals that kind of leads him to think maybe he needs to change his policies and his agenda for his running. And he says that he's doing that, but we don't get to see what that is in the story. And so I'm really curious how that's going to come into play with the Ninja Turtles at large, with Baxter running for president. So anyway, these are always really good because you don't have to read any of the actual Ninja Turtles series. If you're not caught up, you can kind of jump in on those, and they're just little one-shots about different characters. Blood Squad 7, issue 9 from Image Comics. This is all about a new team of superheroes that is based off of an old one. Basically, 30 years ago, there was a celebrity superhero team that just was always out there to stop all the bad guys, but was really big in the media and really just used by everybody for attention. And so now the government has decided they want to build a new Blood Squad 7 and actually use them to kind of control the idea that like, hey, we're sending people out there and we're helping people and we have this stuff. But of course, it hasn't even launched yet, and they just keep getting everything wrong. And we've already seen some old people coming out of the woodwork. We've seen both villains and would-be heroes. We've seen some new villains rise up. We've seen a mess of just governmental paperwork, and now there's a situation where the government is like, hey, we need to send these superheroes in, and they're like, this isn't the stuff that we're supposed to be going for. And they're like, it wasn't a request, like you don't get to choose that you're not going to go. And so we're seeing some secret conversations on the side happen between some of the leaders and team members to try to build up what may actually need to happen when these people go on this adventure. It's really starting to build up a lot in this world, and I really hope they keep it going for a while, because the more they build to the story, the better the story actually is getting, because everybody's kind of having a big impact and it's rippling out. Assassin's Apprentice is finally coming to an end. This is volume 3, issue 6 from Dark Horse, and it is the end of the story. And I'm actually really sad about that, because I really like this book. And this issue, we kind of get the fallout of everything and the wrap up. So if you haven't read this before, it's another one of those really dense stories that feels like you're reading a novel, but it is about a young boy who is the illegitimate son of a prince, and that prince is no longer alive, but he's got a bunch of brothers, and so he is sent to go live within the palace grounds initially and train as like a stable hand, and then he is training as an assassin because like they bring him closer into the palace because they realize he can go as a diplomat places, but if they like lose him, it's not really a big deal because he's not actually a prince. And so they start training him to be an assassin, and then they find out that he has what they call a skill, which is basically that he can read and like people's thoughts, but also kind of communicate through it. And so he has been working for the king to be and working with him on just kind of saving the kingdom because the kingdom is in danger. And in this arc, this volume of the story, he has actually been sent to another place to meet the new queen to be, the princess of this other place that they're going to merge with the king to be he's been training with. And another one of the brothers ends up killing the prince and is like, hey, this princess, like he's basically trying to start a war and using his brother's expense to do it. And our only person who actually knows what's going on is our young kid who is being trained as an assassin, who they of course have already said, we can kind of send you down there and let you take the blame for things and die. And so he's having to figure out how to save himself and how to save his king to be his uncle that he loves so much from the evil one. And we see how this all comes together in this issue. We've got Life, issue 5 from Distillery. Distillery books have just recently started coming back, and I'm so excited. I love this one just honestly solely for the fact that it's a flip book, which is really cool. This is about a planet that is a prison planet, and it's kind of been left unattended for a long time. And so we have been told that the planet is like not inhabited and that there's no prisoners still on it, but we are also told that there may be treasure. And so we've got a team of people who try to go out to the planet looking for all of the like treasure, which you can see actually does exist on this. But when they get there, what they didn't know is that there were still criminals on the planet, and they are actually running the planet their own way at this point, and they are looking for a way off. And so these people find themselves face to face with a group of criminals, and on the other side of the story you get the criminals version of the story. And now these two are really intersecting. We actually come to a point where the exact same scene is in both sides of the book because their stories are literally on top of each other right now, because it is who is going to get to the ship, who is going to get to take the treasure, and how are we going to wrap this all up. And so it's really cool to see this book and how it's playing out. But if you haven't read it yet, you have time to catch up because we're just now starting to get our Distillery books back. I'm going to take another drink of this wine really fast to see how it's shaping up. My nose is itchy, sorry. Oh, that is completely different. Oh my gosh. There's way more stuff in there now.
Whoa.
All the things I said about it being like really smooth and not like really kicking you flavor, it is definitely kicking you flavor now. Like there is way more spice to it. I definitely got the oak that time. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And the fruit. I finally got like the fruit on the back end. Was kind of weird because it's like spice and then woodsy and then fruit for me.
Is that raspberry?
I can't tell. It definitely isn't grape.
Right.
Like it's definitely a different, and it just says red fruits. It doesn't say.
It tastes like a tart berry though.
Mm-hmm.
Like something very tart.
Yeah.
Like raspberry vanilla now.
It's definitely got the vanilla still like really thick through it.
And I didn't have that before.
You didn't have that before, and I didn't have the oak before. And now I have the oak on it, so it's definitely opening up to be a lot of flavors. I feel like that's a perfect segue. Opening up for a lot of flavors is perfect to segue into FML number 5 from Dark Horse. I'm so happy this book is back. We've been on a little hiatus for it, and there was such a big cliffhanger to be left on, so now we are back. So if you haven't been reading this, it's kind of a perfect story of how difficult life was, like could have been for parents during during the pandemic, because this is all about a mom who is kind of just trying her best to be a comic creator, which is of course great because it's written by Kelly Sue DeConnick, who is a mom and a comic creator, and she's trying to be the cool mom who can get, gets her stories made and her books made, and is also there for her kids who are going through a lot. One of her kids recently turned into a giant monster, which is of course a great analogy for puberty, as this kid is the teenager, and she's trying to deal with all of that. But unfortunately there's more to it, because there is murder mystery, and now all of the kids who have recently just thought that the biggest drama in their life ever was going to be starting a band are now actually being accused of possibly being involved in a murder. And so they're getting booked as a band now, but only because people want the kids who murdered somebody to be their like metal band show, and they're like, we don't really want to play those shows, we don't really want to just be the people who are known for a murder that we didn't commit, like we just found the body. And they're trying to put it all together. They're trying to hold the family life together at the same time. We're seeing some good conversations between family members. We're seeing family members who have been estranged trying to come together, and we're seeing a mom just really trying to hold it all together while she deals with a murdered friend and a new murder, and nobody to like, and trying to be a part of be good at her job. She's terrible at public appearances. She's trying to handle all of the like balance of everything, and more stuff just keeps happening, including more murders. And so we're going to continue to see this mystery unravel, and hopefully they'll get it together and they'll be able to solve it soon. The back matter, actually I have to show you that. The back matter of this is always super cool, and this is awesome because in this one, Kelly Sue actually got drawings from a kid. Like a kid sent in their own comic strips based on the story, and then they did a bunch of doodles on all the back matter pages. And so I just, we love to teach kids to make comics. We love seeing kid creators, and so the fact that Kelly Sue highlighted that in the back of her book is super cool. So shout out to Marcella, who is 10 years old, for making her comic and getting it put in the back of the book. We've got Solomon Kane, issue 4 from Titan Comics, and this is the wrap-up of this story of Solomon's life. This is a big adventure for them. They are going on a journey for the Serpent Ring, and so if you didn't read this, Solomon Kane, who is kind of like a Puritan pirate, essentially, was tasked to go find a man and his daughter, to give them a letter from the man's brother that includes a map to a serpent ring. And the serpent ring is this mysterious item that basically can give somebody, like grant somebody control over all of this like mysticism, and basically possibly destroy the world or save it. Solomon is trying to help this woman and her dad find this ring on behalf of like her uncle's need for him to find it. There's also pirates who have now come into play, who are taking over, who also want this serpent ring. There's different kinds of bandits. They are basically a ragtag group of a bunch of people who want to kill each other, and in fact in the last issue Solomon was left for dead after being bitten by a snake, and they have finally in this issue made their way to the Serpent Palace and the Serpent Queen, and they are trying to get to the ring. But what they don't know is it's never that easy. Just because you can get to the ring doesn't mean the ring is going to like you, and it doesn't mean that you should take things that are artifacts and buried in certain places for a reason. And we get to see how exactly that wraps up for all of the bad people and the good ones by the end of the story. All right, so I'm going to talk about Slash's Apprentice. Yes, I know nobody got it in their box this week. If you shop here, it's because we only got this copy. All the rest of them are on their way, but I'm still going to talk about it because it did come out this week, and you'll be able to pick it up when our misship comes in. So, Slash's Apprentice issue 3 from Mad Cave. This is such a good book. It is all about a teenager who has been studying the life work of a serial killer, and is like, you're my favorite serial killer. I loved you, but like you're not really keeping up with the times anymore. Like you need to figure out a better way to be a serial killer in the now time. And you've never left a witness, but you need to. You need to leave a witness who can talk about it, who's going to panic and, you know, go live on the internet. And so in this issue, they have finally started officially working together. And our young apprentice is actually showing them like how to do it. And so they pick the next target, which is going to be a theater group in a high school, because there's a major like influencer for the school that is a part of the theater and kind of runs everything. And so they come up with this massive plan of how they're going to attack the school theater, and it's absolutely hilarious to watch them work together. But then it's great to see them kind of try to like build out what like an organized serial killer would look like. And it's so funny because the serial killer doesn't speak, and they give him a magnadoodle essentially to write on, and he's like writing down like he hates how slow it is and all this stuff. And it's really actually kind of cute and heartfelt in the weirdest way. So hopefully our issue 3s will arrive this week for everybody who didn't get one, but there is at least one. The future is issue 3 from Rekka Comics. So if you got issue 1, it was a double-sized issue that kind of told you all about like this massive team of hackers who ran some cybersecurity operatives, and basically were just like saving the world through cybersecurity, which was super cool. Very like, you know, Mission Impossible hackers, like all kinds of things like combined together. Now we're going back and we're seeing how that team was formed. And so issue 2 introduced us to one of our characters on our team, a woman who is kind of like the muscle, is because kind of like she's known for her quick fastness, like she was an Olympian. She's here to actually be like the boots on the ground person. And in this issue, they are coming after another guy who is like the best in the world at noticing holes in your cybersecurity and being able to fix them. But the problem is that his mom, who runs a sports trading like betting company, this massive entity, has always been worried about her son because he's so sensitive to everything, people, sound, noises, things like that. And so she's actually built it to where his entire world, everything he sees, is actually the childhood cartoon that she loved. And so he basically walks his life through a virtual reality version of the world and doesn't know what's going on. And they know that somebody is coming for this guy, that they want to use him for all the most nefarious reasons, and they're worried that he's going to get stolen and or killed, one or the other. And so our team of hackers has to go in there and hack into his his virtual reality world and convince him to come out and join their team. And it's such a cool adventure and such a cool concept, and the way they do it is really well done, especially on these individual books. It's been nice to see like them build their little Justice League of hackers. We've got Free Planet issue 3 from Image Comics. This book has so much going on, and this is another one where you gotta like take your time to read it, because all the like little details that are put into the like narration boxes is really just the story. But this is about, basically we've come to the point where the planet has figured out a way that they're going to live in peace, and they aren't going to have wars or like people attacking each other and things like that anymore. And of course, that's so a perfect utopia is so not really possible to build. And they have this commanding group of people who are from different places who are just supposed to kind of enforce the fact that how they're keeping their peace, but also make sure that like nobody attacks them from other places for all their oil and things like that. And it's actually really cool because they do get attacked by these reavers in this issue, and the story flips to go to this direction, and then it flips in essentially it does an entire like 360. Like it goes from there to here we go upside down. So it's really cool because as they're flying through space and having this battle, all the way, every time the ship flips, the page flips too, which makes it really cool, and you're like super engaged because of it. And then you go back to like, now you're up this way, And so it's so cool that like you have to keep flipping the pages to get to where you're going. But we are battling to see, you know, we do have somebody who's supposed to be kind of an oracle that's come to visit. He's a representative of another planet, and they already can tell that he's hiding something, and they are determined to figure out what it is. So it's really like heating up in that book too. Dark Regards, issue 3 from Oni Press. If you're looking for something that's just absolutely ridiculous and yet still incredibly well written, this is definitely going to be that book for you. This is all about a guy who doesn't really have anything going on and decides that he wants to start a black metal band. And he has no experience playing instruments and no talent whatsoever. But he is going to be he has named himself the new Lord of Metal, and therefore he is the best at being a heavy metal musician, a black metal musician specifically. And so the way he does it is to build up his fame is he actually sends a bunch of emails and goes online and like attacks all of the other like actual Norwegian black metal bands. And then he actually builds a band after that, and they decide to start making music. They're not very good, and before they even have a show, he sends their demo to everybody and once again attacks all of the other bands that exist in the metal world. And one of the Norwegian bands, or some of the Norwegian metal bands, come together and they decide they're going to take him out. And so they fly to America and they go to the return label on the demo season's out, and it's his mom's house, and they actually they become friends with his mom, but they also are there to hurt him, and so they build their own space in which they can actually attack him. And now the challenge is the only way that they will leave him and not kill him and all of his friends is if he proves that he's the best at metal. And so he has to actually build a new band for some missing players and have the best death metal show or black metal show in the world. And it's all satire and it's all hilarious, and you should absolutely 100% read it if you care about humor or music at all. Buried Long Long Ago, issue 3 from Mad Cave. This book is so freaking good. It's just a great book, and if you're not reading it, that's because we don't have issue 1 right now, so we need to get some more. But this book it's fantastic. It is all about a woman who is trying to tell her kids that she's building a great life for them, and she keeps marrying different men, and then the men die mysteriously and suddenly. And we know what's happening, but nobody else really does. And 2 of the young daughters have started to figure out a little bit about what's going on, and it's definitely scaring them. They've heard stories of a candle-eyed monster in the woods, and they are starting to realize that very monster might be closer than they ever imagined. And in this issue, they go out to try to tell their older sister what they saw and what they think is happening, and she doesn't believe them. And then she goes off with the farmhand boy to have her own romantic affair. Meanwhile, the little girls go off into the woods and they meet the witch of the woods, and they learn that there is a dark, mysterious evil that lives on their land, and there is something there that they need to be afraid of, and it is very scary. And the young girl that is going off into the woods to meet the farmhand learns that her mom has rules for a reason, and you get to see what those rules are and why in this issue. It's crazy. Every issue ending, you're just like, I cannot believe we went there. Like, it's so good. So we've got Godzilla, Here There Be Aliens, issue 2 from IDW. This is part of your Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons universe, and then Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons, Sons of Giants. So this is, you can read it without having read that, but it does provide more context to it. And in this issue, we are dealing with the fact that there is an alien invasion on its way, and the Sons of Giants are going to, Secret Society is really the ones that are going to have to deal with it, and they're trying to figure out how to get the kaiju to save them. And we're learning the story of Hedorah in this issue, and how Hedorah came to be on Earth, and how, like, originally there was all this, like, mind control and terrible things, and Hedorah trying to take over, but now how Hedorah was meant to like also kind of be a helper. And we get to learn that they have Benjamin Franklin designed a way to fight against kaiju monsters and alien invasions, but he never had the technology to build it. And so now in this modern time, we have built that very thing, which is Jet Jaguar. And we are going to see how we can use that in our fight against all of these creatures. It's just a fun way to reimagine the kaiju and to basically make it like, oh, there's been every major event that's actually happened in life has been a cover-up for the kaiju attacks that have happened in the world, which is cool because it takes that original Godzilla being a metaphor for things that happened and turning it into like, what if everything that happened was a metaphor for kaiju? So it kind of like flips it, reverses it, and puts it like into a new story with every kaiju that you ever have seen. And so really you should grab all the volumes of the story because it's so good. We've got Blood Type issue 2 from Oni Press and the EC Comics imprint. So if you don't know, Oni Press recently bought the rights to EC, which is our classic anthologies for the most part from pre-Comics Code authority. But in this is actually a horror story that is not anthology. It is a full ongoing story, or miniseries really. But it is about a woman who is a vampire, and she has made her way onto this island, and she's like, great, a nice place where I can simply relax and live my best life. And when she gets there, she finds out that people are not allowed on the beach at night because there is rumor of vampires and other monstrous creatures hiding in the jungles of the island. And she's like, great, so I can't actually have a nice vacation and I can't just be here. So she ends up trying to take a kid in as like her sire. But she realizes when she bites him that she can't actually control him. And she's starting to see that something is going on like within that, like his bloodstream, and something really, really weird is happening on the island. We also get her backstory of how she became a vampire, and it's really cool because it does look like it is more connected to like the Dracula story, and that she was chosen to be one of Dracula's wives. And maybe she makes that story up just a little bit for her own personal gain, and we're going to see how that comes into play because something familiar is lurking on this island, and she's getting a little nervous that she might be in danger herself. All right, we had a bunch of books launched this week. We had a one-shot where Archie met Jay and Silent Bob. Here's the thing I will say about this. While it is an Archie comic, and while it is Archie in characters, this is actually a Kevin Smith written Jay and Silent Bob story, and so it is very not for children in the way that most Archie crossovers usually kind of stay in the vein of like, we need to have the kid content. This is not. So Archie gets a job in New Jersey at a convenience store that you may recognize if you've ever seen Clerks. And the team is all there from the Clerks world. And Archie is approached one day by Betty, who comes to bring him lunch and is like, hey, I brought you lunch. Or I thought we'd go get lunch because I want to, like, I'm your girlfriend and I want to go to lunch with you. And then Veronica shows up and she's like, nah, dude, you don't go to lunch with her. You go to lunch with me. Like, I brought you lunch. It's gold-crusted, literally gold flake-crusted lasagna. And he's like, oh my gosh. And she's like, because I'm your girlfriend. And then Betty and Veronica get into their usual mad at Archie, not mad at each other thing, which I love. We should not be mad at each other. We should be mad at Archie because he's skeezy. But Jay and Silent Bob show up because they think that there's going to be some, that all three of them are going to get together. And if somebody's going to have a three-way relationship, Jay and Silent Bob want to be a part of it. And then we get to see Jay and Silent Bob go to the video store with Archie, and it turns out that Jay has a daughter who is working at the video store, and all she wants is to see Josie and the Pussycats, but Jay wasn't able to get her tickets, and Archie's like, I can totally get you the tickets to see Josie and the Pussycats, and they're like, yeah, right, sure you can. He's like, my band's opening up for them, and they're like, how is your band, like, you uncool kid, opening up for Josie and the Pussycats? He's like, I used to date the drummer, And or he didn't date the drummer, he dated Val, not Melody. And so he's like, I used to date, I guess he says bass guitar player, but he's like, I used to date them. And so anyway, they get to go to the concert, but then Archie gets sick and Jay has to step in and be the lead singer, and Jay and Silent Bob hijinks style ensue. It's really hilarious, but again, this is hilarious for adults because there is a lot of profanity, and Jay and Silent Bob level adult humor. So that's my last copy, though, so if you didn't get it, come in fast. Wild Animals #1 from Mad K. This is going to be such a good series. I cannot wait to see how this series actually unfolds, because this is the story of a person who is dealing with a tragedy. Their mom is passing away, and they just really want to be there for them. And while their mom is on their deathbed, they are working at a convenience store, and somebody breaks in, like starts robbing the convenience store, and they end up not being able to be there for their mom at the last minutes. And it really like kind of triggers everything from their childhood, which was that their dad, some corrupt people came in and killed his dad when he was little, and he's always wanted to find out like what happened to his dad and hunt down the people that did this. And this kind of moment triggers all of that, because it's like every time he wants to do something, he's always helpless, and the bad guys seem to just get away with it. And so he's like, I'm not gonna let bad people get away with it anymore. And so he starts doing some more research and uncovers a lot about himself and about the situation with his dad and his mom and the people that actually attacked them. And I don't tell you what that is because there's so much to it, but it's gonna open up, like there is a whole big story coming your way, and it kicks off really well in this first issue. So grab Wild Animals if you didn't. The Unchosen #1 from Image. This is giving us another one of those powered universes, and more like not so much super powered as much as just like meta-human powered kind of situation. But this follows along with a young girl who's at a school, and the school is for people who have these special superpowers, this magic that they can tap into. And we find out very early on that she actually doesn't seem to have the power. She has a friend who finds a dead bird and is trying to save it, and she tries her best to use magic to bring it back, but she can't. And then the bully kids from the school come in, and they're like teasing her because she doesn't have magic, and they start using theirs to attack her. And of course she's just like, well, I don't have magic, but I do have fists. And so she kind of attacks them back, and then she gets pulled into the headmaster's office, and we learn her backstory and how she was pulled into this school even though she doesn't have the power, and why it is that they think she's special even though she thinks that she's the only one in the world that isn't. And we're gonna see as the story unfolds, obviously her get some kind of power, I'm sure, that's going to change the world. Return to Skull Island #1 from Titan Comics. This is actually a very kid-friendly version of the Kong stuff. This is actually following a young boy whose family lands on Skull Island. The dad has been looking for it for his whole life, wanting to do some research and discovery there. And the story actually follows the kid who's been separated from his dad and his sister, and he's been caught by a tribe of other kids who live on this island, who work very much to protect the island, and specifically to protect Kong, because if Kong dies, so does the island, which means so does their home. And so these kids have actually captured him, and they're like, we're going to put you on this massive like slab of, like this raft essentially that's hanging over a chasm, and if you fall into the chasm, you're obviously going to die. But also all of the hollow earth theory monster kind of things come out of this chasm. So anyway, if you make it 3 days, we'll accept you into our tribe, and if you don't, well, then you didn't destroy the island, so we're fine. And so this kid is getting kind of a first-hand experience of Skull Island. We're also seeing what happened to his dad and his sister, and we're learning a little bit more about what happened to Kong, because when Kong and when the kid lands on the island, a Kraken and Kong are in a battle, and some dangerous injuries come to Kong, and we are worried that we are going to lose him, and so this kid is going to be pulled into this journey to attempt to save King Kong and Skull Island. And again, very much like if you have kids who are enjoying all the new like Kong versus Godzilla kind of movies, the Monsterverse or whatever it is. It's not the Monster. Is it the Monsterverse? Yeah. Yeah, if they're enjoying that, this is honestly a great comic to give them to keep going with that. And I know a lot of the kids are really liking Kong because of it. So, all right, we've got 3 picks of the week. I'm going to take another drink of my wine, which a small bug flew into. I might drink a small bug.
Protein.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it. I did not drink the small bug. Don't worry, people watching at home. All right, we've got three picks of the week as usual. The first up is They Choose Violence, #1 from AWA. I've been waiting for this book, honestly, because it came in and there was a misprint on it, so we didn't get to read it and keep them, and I've been like, what is this book that I need to read now? And here it is, and I'm so excited. And it was so good. This is all about 3 women who live together. One is a police officer, one is a lawyer, and one is a nurse or a doctor in the healthcare field in some way. And they all seem to they're kind of tired of the fact that like everything they do that to stand up for like themselves and for other people, you know, they're tired of having like to participate in all these marches and not see any change. They're tired of people who are attacking women, not women, people who are attacking Black people, getting away with it. And so we actually go through a lot of the things that led up to the Black Lives Matter marches in 2020, and beyond that. And they're like, we're seeing all these people who are just constantly getting away, and they're the people that should be there to protect people. There's corruption in politics, and there's corruption in the police department, and there's so many different things that we need to figure out a way to stand against. And they find out that there's like one particular person that just really got away with this violent crime against an innocent person, and they're like, that's it, like we can't do this anymore. We have to take matters into our own hands. And all this time we've been talking about we should do something, and we've never done it before, so let's go. And so they start training, and they start making plans, and they start building out their armory, and they just decide that they're going to become these vigilantes who personally take down all of the people who cause harm to innocents in this world. And we get to see them start to build that world. And I really love it, and I'm totally going to spoil this one thing for you, and I'm so sorry, because the first kill happens on one of the girls' birthdays, and they were like, we realized we couldn't just do it on our birthdays. Like, we couldn't just kill people on our birthdays because there's only 3 of us, and so we'd only get to kill 3 people, and then we'd be done for a year. And she was like, so we started using other people's birthdays, and the birthdays are like Emmett Till's birthday and Frederick Douglass's birthday and George Lee's birthdays. And so it's just this like amazingly like strong political stance book with this vigilante message, with just this awesome thing. And the cliffhanger at the end of this issue, oh my gosh, if you like a political thriller and people standing up for innocent lives and people like fighting back against oppression is your thing, and you want it to be an action movie of a movie, this is going to be the book for you. It's very well done. These girls all have like their own unique personalities and yet work really well together. And again, they are not holding anything back. And that cliffhanger at the end is definitely showing you like they have something to say, and they are going to say it in a really cool way. And I cannot wait for issue 2 now. And I hope we don't have to wait very long. But all right, we've got Toxic Avenger #1 from Ahoy Comics, and it's obviously, we're so excited about Toxic Avenger #1 coming out because we have our own amazing Toxic Avenger variant that I'm going to keep showing you, that you can get here in the store. But we are going to jump into what's actually happening in this, and I love that Matt named this issue Something is Mutating the Children. There is actually like a store incentive, not a store exclusive, an incentive that was like a Something is Killing the Children homage, which was really cool. But this is, it's a new ongoing, so we are still kind of living in that world of the miniseries where Toxie was created after, a toxic spill, and we're not letting people into Tromaville because of the toxic spill and all of the corruption that the government and the corporations have caused because of that. But what is adding to it in this story is all of the fallout of what would the people of Tromaville do? Like, not everybody's gonna be like, hey, like, this is a bad thing. Like, what about all the people who are going to realize that they could use this for their own nefarious purposes? And so we are seeing a lot of people start to disappear, and we don't know what's happening to them. And Toxie and a bunch of other people team up to kind of try to figure it out. And Toxie discovers exactly what's going on with this man who is kidnapping people and pouring the toxic sludge on them to see what happens, and is trying to figure out how to like bait Toxie into this situation with him. It is so wild. Meanwhile, Toxie's also dealing with the fact that he's starting to see the ghosts of the people that he took out. We're also dealing with the fact that nobody's letting good people who are wanting to come in to help in. There's some, just random people who are taking up arms to keep people out of Tromaville. There's so much that Matt has released in just this first issue of this new ongoing series, and I'm so excited. And we are, if you don't know, building towards the fact that in the fall we are getting Toxic Crusaders as well. So we are building a toxic universe at Ahoy, and Matt Bors and Fred Harper are both going to be on this project and just really rocking it, and they are bringing you the Toxie that you want, with this nice modernness to the story, and still full of grossness and humor and heart in so many different ways. And so you're going to want to get it for sure. And also a big shout out to our friend Ed, who has the illustration at the back of the book. We love to see it. And Ed is so cool. He works with Ahoy, has worked with Archie, has worked with tons of people. He's awesome, and I love when his art gets to appear at the back. Captain Action, yeah, he brought back Captain Action, and like the action figure, and he created Lady Action. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ed's been in the industry for a long time and is a super cool guy. If you ever get a chance to meet Ed Cato, he is the coolest. All right, we've got Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees back with Rite of Spring issue 1 from IDW. I'm so stoked that Sam is back, and we've got an all new story. If you missed last year's Beneath the Trees Where Nobody, I guess Eisner winning Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, you need to read it. You need to jump in. You need to get excited. And this is a whole new story, and it follows a woman named Monica Brewer, which means I automatically like her because that is my maiden last name. So I was like, hey, we're in this story. That's cool. And Monica is a duck because this is a world that all of the animals are very much like Richard Scarry, like, anthropomorphic, cute storybook style animals doing very adult things. And so Monica's brother went missing years ago, like a year ago, and she's been trying to find him. And every week she goes into all like a different like set of police stations. She's been to 127 police precincts in her town every week, essentially for a year, trying to find any clues to what happened to her brother. And she's got the like medical examiners calling her anytime there's a John Doe, so she can go in and see if it's her brother. And she's posting on all these chat boards, and nobody's helping her. There's nothing, like no police force has found any leads, nothing going on. And one day she gets a random a response to a message that she posts on a message board that says she needs to go to this small town. And when she gets to that town, she's like, hey, I'm here because somebody gave me a hint that like y'all might have information about the disappearance of my brother. And they're like, I mean, we've got a John Doe. And she's like, can I identify the body? And they're like, no, because there isn't one completely, and we don't really know what to tell you. And we find out who the mysterious person was that tells them to come to this town. We get to see Sam, who is from the first Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, who is Sam is, if you didn't read it, Sam was a serial killer bear who in volume 1 of the story is always killing in another city, and suddenly a serial killer breaks out in her hometown, and Sam has to stop the serial killer to make sure that nobody pinpoints her. Very Dexter-esque kind of story, but with adorable animals. Now we're going to get another story very similar, and we're going to go on this adventure, and it's going to be amazing. Patrick Horvath does all of the writing and art, and it's so fantastically good. You've got to read it. And Osmani Allahu on lettering, as you know, is my favorite letterer in comics I'm not married to right now, because Osmani Allahu is just nailing it with all these different style books, and so good, one of the best. And so check it out, it's so good. And when you're picking up comics, don't forget you can buy your Bat City Toxic Avenger exclusive. It's right here on top, so you got to see it. And again, shout out to Matt Boris for that. This is the copy that stays on your desk. All right, we've got a bunch of other books in stock this week. We had Rick and Morty versus the Universe #1. Predator, Black, White, and Blood #1, and this has got some wild stories in here. I'm going to put these down so I can show you. Marvel, for the first time since the 90s, brought us a swimsuit special, and this Mark Brooks cover is my absolute favorite. Look at this wraparound. That is so cool. If you didn't grab this, you head out to a comic book store, you're going to want to get this. The Terry Dodson had the cover A, but this Mark Brooks one is just absolute fire. I love it so much. And this is going to be the image on one side of the short boxes that are coming out as well. Magic issue 7, and I love this retro cover. Darkstalkers and Street Fighter Blood Throne #1 came out. We had Doctor Strange of Asgard issue 5, part of your One World Under Doom. Uncanny X-Men issue 16. Wolverine and Kitty Pryde issue 4. Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman, hit issue 2 this week. Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, also on issue 2. This is your Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man. Star Wars Legacy of Vader, issue 6. Supergirl, issue 3. That Sophie Campbell Supergirl, which is super cool. Superman, issue 27. I love that cover. Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue 35. Radiant Black, also hitting issue 35, which is crazy. Gotham City Sirens, Unfit for Orbit, issue 2. This is a weekly title coming out over the summer. We had a Fantastic Four relaunch this week with Ryan North still writing, but a new Fantastic Four series itself. And then Fantastic Four First Steps. This is actually like your movie adaptation kind of comic. This is going to tell you what's going to happen and give you some clues for that movie and build you up. Conan the Barbarian, issue 22. Batman and Robin, issue 23. Batman Dark Patterns, issue 8. This might be the most popular Batman title on the shelf right now. That's not absolute. Like, this is so, everybody is coming in and loving it. Batman Gotham by Gaslight, A League for Justice, issue 1. Absolute Superman, issue 9. Aquaman hit issue 7, and I love this cover. It's so cool. Mark Spears, like trading card kind of cover. So we got a couple of cool single issues, but we also got some great trades. We've got Poison Ivy Volume 5. I love it. Me and Anthony Pizzo always say we're on issue 35 of 6 for Poison Ivy, because the 6-issue miniseries has continued to go on. This is going to have issues 25 through 30 in it. And G. Willow Wilson will actually be at the Tampa Bay Comic-Con at the beginning of August. So if you are looking for things to get her to sign, the Poison Ivy books are always great if you don't have Kamala Khan Miss Marvel books. Maddie, Once Upon a Time in the Future. This is all about a woman who is a veteran of a Secret Service like squad. She's burnt out, up to her eyeballs in cybernetic upkeep, real mad about things, and she's going on a big adventure to take down some corporations. We've got The Last Ronin Re-Evolution. This is the whole thing in a hardcover that matches your Last Ronin hardcover. So if you need that volume 2 second story in the world, like that's your Last Ronin 2, so grab it. Hate Revisited, if you were a fan of the Hate series back in the 90s, early I think it was the 90s. It's back now. The characters are grown up and they are dealing with even more problems in their lives. Gotcha Man Volume 2 is out this week. Muted, I really am excited for this. This is a webtoon put into print for the first time. This is all about some mysterious murders, some crazy like hauntings, like some magic, some it's gonna be good. I'm so excited to read it. Meat Eaters. This is I've a 19-year-old. I'm like, I don't even know this one yet. A 19-year-old girl who finds herself wakes up one morning covered in blood, and some people might be dead. She might be dead. There might be some monsters. There might be some ghouls. There might be some ghosts. It looks really cool. I'm excited to check this one out too. And then Hellblazer Original Sins. This is the first 9 issues of the Vertigo series, with the Constantine tie-in story from Swamp Thing 76 and 77. So if you, I know a lot of people have just been asking for, like, we just got that Hellblazer run in, and a lot of people were like, oh my god, I wanted to read the Vertigo Hellblazer. They're starting to put it back into collected editions, so it's coming back out. All right, that's all I have for you today. Don't forget, this week we will be out. It'll be Ladies and Non-Binary Nerd Night on Thursday at 8 p.m. Saturday at 11:30 we'll be at the Ringling College Goldstein Library for a comic workshop. For any, again, adults, please come out too. This is more like for everybody. This is going to be geared more towards that. Anybody who wants to learn how to make a comic and has that interest in it. And then we've got Slam Academy at 3:30 this Saturday with Matt teaching you lettering. So come out for all those things. If we don't see you for those, hopefully we'll at least see you on Wednesday for New Comic Book Day, or wherever you live. Go to your local comic shop on Wednesday and support local, shop comics. We can't wait to see you in our stores all over the world, just celebrating New Comic Book Day with us. So until then, everybody, happy reading. Bye.